And as we continue the series of consultations, of successful consultations, you would have heard from Ms. Ellington that we have done 4 consultations thus far. And it is critical to us that these consultations are the platform for us to listen to Jamaica, for us to be able to answer your questions and to engage you on this very important national issue. The issue relating to our beaches is a sensitive one. It can be a vexing issue, and it is an issue which we intend to tackle with a view to achieving solutions that will lead to our outcome. And the Beach Access and Management Draft Policy focuses on us improving access rights to the beaches, as well as improving, very importantly, the quality of our beaches and the maintenance of our beaches. And we do so by putting forward a number of proposals that acknowledge the very important cultural and heritage identity that beaches have to us as Jamaicans, the importance of our beaches as just a part of what we're defined as a nation. Several persons travel to Jamaica just to get a touch, a piece of our sea, sun, and sand. And so we understand that our beaches form a very important part of the element of the definition of us as a country. And so the policy focuses on improving access rights, particularly to the foreshore, which I'm certain you'll hear in greater detail. CTT, Guthrie, and others can give you more finite and detailed information. But that foreshore is the area that you would see uncovered and covered by the water, that little gravel area. And that is an area which is vested in the Crown, the government. And we want all Jamaicans to have access to that. And we know that this is something which requires balance, particularly in the consultation that we had with the Jamaica Hoteliers, that association. We would have seen and heard so many concerns as to how we are using our beaches. And so the policy looks also on that balance. Access, how we are taking care of our beaches, how we are going to be able to provide beaches that people can feel safe and secure in, and amenities, sanitization, and clean beaches, spaces where Jamaicans and our tourists alike can have an opportunity to enjoy, and so we can maximize the potential. So we're going to have a lot of discussions on those issues, and I look forward, as I said, to rigorous discussion, constructive criticism on an important issue to Jamaicans and to friends all across the world that see Jamaica as their second home. And we look forward to this stakeholder consultation being one which will allow for us to enjoy your participation online. And I'm certain that we will follow the protocol and allow for wonderful participation. I just want to, as I close, note that we are also recognizing the Combined Disabilities Association, and we're looking forward to hearing from them on the information they have and comments and concerns as it relates to us as we advance the Beach Access and Management Policy. And there are several other issues which relate to other ministries, such as the co-management that we will have to speak about relating to the fishermen who ply their trade on the beaches, the maintenance and rehabilitation that's taking place in some of our beaches across the country, which I'm certain that Dr. Wallace will speak about, because TEF has a big part to play in that, as well as NEPA. And this is truly a comprehensive, cross-sectional, multi-stakeholder approach. This is the approach that we have to take because of the importance of this issue.
What is the status of beaches across Jamaica? We will first start off by looking at how many public beaches do we have. In keeping with the beach policy, we have approximately 76 beaches across the island, with Portland being the parish that has most of our beaches. As it relates to ownership of these 76 beaches, the vast majority of the beaches are categorized as government-owned or privately owned. 13 of the 76 beaches, the entrance fees range from $200 to $2,000 per person, and this fee is based on the amenities that are available at those particular beaches. In looking at the pie chart, you can see that, as was stated before, that most of our beaches are owned by government agencies, and these include the NRCA, or the Beach Control Authority, being NEPA, the National Land Agency, the Urban Development Corporation, and the municipal corporations. The remainder of the beaches, at 35%, is owned by private entities. And it's important to note that even though some of these beaches are owned by private entities, they operate as public facilities. So the public is still able to access these beaches and the amenities within these beaches. Where the current status of our beaches are concerned, the majority of our beaches have been traditionally not been adequately maintained, and what you find is that over time they have deteriorated. What the government has done in response to this is twofold. So we're looking at activities that are being done by the Tourism Enhancement Fund, which is a larger project which you'll hear about later on this afternoon, as well as the National Resource Conservation Authority, or NEPA. We have a smaller project where we're focusing on light maintenance works on public beaches that we have a mandate to ensure that they're in a state that the public is able to access. And so these minor works also includes installation of signs. And from the photographs, you will see that's Porta Seca Beach, that's an example of a beach that is well maintained, versus Jacob Taylor Beach in Silver Sands, which is in need of maintenance works. To date, what we have done in NEPA is we've carried out maintenance works on 15 beaches across 9 parishes. So these beaches include Helsha Bay, Marine Terminal in St. Catherine, Prospect Beach in St. Thomas, Trial Beach in Hanover, Copacabana Beach in St. Andrew, Negril Beach in Westmoreland. And for Negril in particular, what we have done, traditionally there have been access points that you are able to go onto the beach from Norman Manley Boulevard, and they've been overgrown. So what we have done to tackle that issue is to really ensure that the areas are clean and bushed. So that's a part of the maintenance activity there. We have Crane Road in St. Elizabeth, as well as Great Bay and Billy's Bay Fishing Beach, Salem in St. Anne, Boston Beach and Spring Gardens Beach in Portland, Hope Bay in Portland, and Bulls Bay in Hanover. So the works that are taking place on these beaches, including bushing and cleaning of the property, light landscaping, removal of derelict structures, painting of the structures, installation of concrete benches and tables, installation of recycling bins, garbage receptacles, and of course, installation of signs. And that's just an example of what the sign looks like. One there is space in Marine Terminal, which is in St. Catherine, and then you have a sign which indicates an access point along Norman Manley Boulevard in Negril. And this is just showing what we've done so far with the installation of the benches, the landscaping, the garbage receptacles, and the painting. I should also mention that this is something that the agency started in 2019, and it is ongoing. In fact, we are conducting beach maintenance works as we speak. So this is something that the agency sees as something that is of great importance. So we will continue on an annual basis to maintain the beaches that we have responsibility for, the public beaches that we have responsibility for. In addition to all of that, the agency we also conduct beach erosion monitoring. So just to give you a quick idea of what exactly we do, in terms of what coastal erosion is a natural process categorized by removal of sand along the shoreline. So if you see beaches where the sand is being washed away for any reason, that is considered erosion. Where accretion is the opposite of that, which is a deposition or the building of the beach by sediment or sand. So we at NEPA, we've been compiling erosion data for over 20 years, which represents 43 sites across 7 parishes. And as you can see there, that's an example of severe beach erosion that is taking place. Based on our trends, what we have found of the 43 sites that we're monitoring, 16 sites have been experiencing erosion. So in overall, our data shows a trend of erosion from essentially most of our sites. It's mild erosion, while chronic erosion is at 25% or greater, and we've unfortunately been seeing this in Portland. So Portland has an average of 45% approximately erosion rate. So we have identified that this erosion is an issue, and we will continue to monitor it as we go along. So one of the things the public is interested in is, where do we find these beaches? Where can we get information about beaches across Jamaica? And what the National Environment and Planning Agency has done, we've created what is called the Jamaica Beach Guide, which is pretty easy to follow. It's accessible on our website, and it allows the public to have knowledge of where these beaches are, how to access them, information such as location, the state of the beach, if the fees are charged, and the amenities on the beach. And this, on the Jamaica Beach Guide, the information on the website is not exhaustive, and we are constantly populating the website with beaches. So what we're inviting the public to do, if there's a particular beach in your community that you think should be a part of the beach guide, submit the information to us. The agency will carry out its investigations to determine whether or not this is a beach that should be on the website. So just bear with us that this website is constantly being populated, so you can help us to ensure that we have covered over time all the beaches across Jamaica, so you're well aware of where to locate these beaches.
Is that the TEF has a beaches development program that we focus on, the 76 public beaches that are available. We look at how we can go in and develop beaches, increments at a time, to provide more beaches for our local Jamaicans to benefit from. And I'm going to talk a little bit about them today. So how we approach these beaches is that we're polishing diamonds. Jamaica has been blessed to have some of the best natural beaches in the world. And so we make sure that when we go in, our interference doesn't spoil the natural beauty that's there, but it actually enhances it, puts in the basic infrastructure to ensure that it's amenable and comfortable to our Jamaicans, but we ensure that it's done in a very tasteful way. Some of the priorities that we consider is to make sure we choose beaches that are safe. So safe from reptiles, safe from areas that may put our people at risk. We make sure it's sustainable, both environmentally and economically, because one of the things that we do, we go in as a tourism enhancement fund and we do the projects to develop the beaches, but we want to ensure that afterwards that the operation of the beaches is such that it can sustain itself while making sure it is free to the general public. So we want it to be accessible as well, not just easy for our Jamaicans to get there, but for the disabled community as well, for them to have easy access to the beaches. We ensure it's aesthetically pleasing. One of the things we want to do is, from a tourism perspective, Jamaica competes with the best in the world. And so every development that we make on our natural resources, we want to make sure it continues to place Jamaica in that top echelons of the best in the world, anywhere. So we ensure it's well planned. All of the factors are considered, including sewage, including drainage, including anything that is required to ensure a sustainable success story from the beaches that we develop. And we make sure it's world class. Basically, we are saying that for Jamaica to become a first world country, all our investments will have to be at that standard. So if you notice the way we do our bus stops along the North Coast, we make sure it's at first world standards. When we're doing the Closed Harbour Beach project now, we're making sure it's at first world standards. All our investments, we believe Jamaicans deserve that, and we approach all our development projects with that in mind. So the essentials for the program are the restaurant, the bars, the shops, the lifeguard huts, parking, security, signage, utilities, Wi-Fi, crucial essential in these times, an entertainment area, and a unique feature. Unique feature meaning, and the best example I can use is what Emancipation Park has with that statue. Anywhere you see a picture of that statue, anywhere in the world you are, you know exactly where that location is. And that's what we want to do with our beaches, have a unique feature that's has synergies with the area, but when you take that selfie next to that unique feature, it's clear where you are in Jamaica. And one of the things that's crucial is that we ensure that there are revenue centers as part of the development of the beach, because the crucial thing is that we want to make sure it's free to the public. It's unfair to ask somebody who has lived in that community, who's been going to the beach all their lives, and all of a sudden we develop and now we have to charge them. So the idea is, in order to make it free, but to still earn enough to maintain it, to pay the lifeguards, to ensure it's cleaned well, to improve it even, we have these concessionaire opportunities with the restaurants, the bars, the shops, and so on that will then be leased out to then earn, to then use to maintain the beaches. So that's our business model in our development. So over the next 3 years, we have, along with the committee for beaches, which is a cross-agency committee across government, UBC is on the committee, NEPA is on the committee, NRCA, Ministry of Local Government, and so on. All of us and TPDCO, we meet once a month and we use all the factors, a holistic approach to selecting which beaches are to be placed on the schedule for us to invest in over the next 3 years. So we have 10 beaches now that are in the pipeline. Watson Taylor Park in Hanover, Success in St. James, Prairie in St. Anne, Rio Nuevo in St. Mary, Murdoch Beach in St. Mary, Winifred Beach in Portland, Rocky Point in St. Thomas, Guts River in Manchester, Alligator Pond in St. Elizabeth, and Crane Road in St. Elizabeth. So if you notice, it's nicely spread over the 4 quarters of the country to ensure that most communities will have relatively easy access to one of these world-class beaches that we're developing. In terms of the development process, we are very careful in designing it well. So we start with a tender for design. So we put out a tender and get a design team in. Then we do an internal consultation to ensure that they understand exactly the task that's before them. We then do a public consultation with the community. And this is before the consultants put a pen to paper. We consult the community to ensure that they are involved from the get-go. What they'd like to see, what they would not want to see is included in the design. We then get that preliminary design and we go back to the community with now something on paper to say, based on all that, the calculations, the topography, the coastal engineering, everything, this is what we're presenting. The community then has an opportunity to tweak this design, and we then get the final design that we take to procurement and get the necessary approvals to then do the construction and then have the operation. So that's the development process of our beach. Very heavy on consultation, very heavy on design, because when you do it that way, it guarantees you that the finished product that you put out there will stand the test of time, will be guaranteed to be successful. Beaches that we've completed in the last few years: Burwood Beach in Trelawney, licensed in St. Thomas, and I have some figures there giving an idea of the costs that we've spent on those beaches in the past. Boston Beach in Portland, and Otter Bay or Markenstone Beach in St. Mary.